Today, we're looking at probably the two scariest words in the corporate dictionary. You're fired. We've gone through a stack of resources on Ontario employment law to really, decode what happens when the axe falls.
It's gut punch. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But the main thing these sources all point to is separating the emotion from the transaction.
Bridge transaction.
Yeah. Getting fired is a specific legal event, and knowing the difference between what feels unfair versus what is actually illegal, that's what determines if you walk away with a paycheck or, well, nothing.
That's the core of it, isn't it? Wrongful dismissal sounds like it means my boss was a jerk. But legally, it's much, much narrower.
It is. It's basically about being terminated without the proper notice or the right compensation.
Okay, so it all comes down to the money.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And in Ontario, it splits into two big buckets. The most common one is termination without cause.
And this one always surprises people.
Right. Your employer doesn't actually need a good reason to fire you. They can just wake up one day and decide, this isn't working out.
But, and this is the big but, there's a trade-off. If they don't have a reason, they have to pay for the exit.
Exactly. Versus the other one, termination for cause.
Yeah.
That's the nuclear option.
So that's when you've done something really bad.
Really bad. You stole, you were violent, something called willful misconduct.
Yeah.
In that case, they can show you the door and they owe you zero.
And then there's this gray area that sources all highlight, constructive dismissal.
Ah, yes. I'm not firing you, I'm just making your life miserable strategy.
It's passive-aggressive.
Totally. They don't say the words, you're fired, but they, cut your pay by 20%, or they move your desk to the basement. They're basically forcing you to quit.
And the law sees that as a firing.
It sees that as exactly the same thing. Now, here's a key insight for you listening. If you claim wrongful dismissal, the burden of proof isn't on you.
Oh, that's huge.
It is. You don't have to prove you lost money. The burden is on the employer to prove they paid you enough, or that they had valid cause to fire you.
That flips the power dynamic completely.
It does. Which brings us to, I think, the biggest myth that came up. Probation.
Right. The idea that for the first 3 months it's the Wild West and you have zero rights.
It's so pervasive, but it's just not true. It is easier to fire someone on probation, but there's a bad faith exception. They can let you go for being unsuitable, sure, but not because they wanted to save money or set you up to fail.
So bad faith is the shield. Okay, this next part I actually had to stop and reread. The lying boss.
Yeah, this one is. It's counterintuitive. In Ontario, an employer is not legally required to tell you the truth about why they're firing you.
As long as they write the check.
As long as they write the severance check, they can literally lie to your face.
How is that possible? They can just make up a reason.
They can, because if they're paying you out without cause, the why becomes legally irrelevant to the contract. However, and this is a massive asterisk,
Okay.
the lie becomes a weapon if it's covering up something illegal.
Retaliation.
Exactly. The lie is a cover for the real reason, which is that you filed a harassment claim or a safety complaint.
So if you've been wronged, the clock is ticking. The sources are really clear on this. Choosing where to go is a huge common mistake.
It's a maze, isn't it? You have to triage the problem. If it's mainly about mental stress or harassment, you go to the WSI, but you've only got 6 months.
6 months, wow. And if it's discrimination age, gender, race...
That's the Human Rights Tribunal. You get 12 months for that.
Then there's the Ministry of Labor.
Right. That's more for straightforward stuff, like unpaid wages.
And if you're just chasing the big money, the severance you're owed...
That's civil court.
Yeah.
Small claims is capped at $35,000. Anything more, you're in superior court. You get 2 years for that. But really, you shouldn't wait.
So to wrap this all up, an employer can fire you for no reason. They can even lie about the reason.
But they absolutely must pay for the privilege, unless you broke the law.
It's a cold calculation.
It really is.
Which leaves us with a final thought from all this research. If the law allows an employer to lie about why they fired you, as long as the price is right, what does that say about the value of truth versus transaction in our modern workplace?
It suggests the price of truth is, well, it's exactly what's on your severance check.
Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.